So welcome back to another video on the channel. In today's video, what I want to go through is essentially hitting 100K a month in a new niche, right? Even if if obviously you've got a current niche, you've got a current offer that's working well obviously this will help you scale to 100K a month. But even if you've not got that proven niche, that proven offer as of yet, the proven deliverable, the mechanism, all that good stuff, if you don't have that as of yet, well, this will still help you, because essentially I'm going to give you a system where it's essentially very difficult to not find a niche and transformation that hits, that resonates, and that people will be happy to pay you money for them to realize that transformation, right? And then obviously once you've got that kind of initial proof of concept down packed, you've got the offer locked in, you've got a good offer that works, we can then scale at that point anyway. Okay, so if you've got the offer or you don't have the offer, still going to be useful. So let me just get into it, because the system itself is actually super simple. I'm not saying it's easy by any means whatsoever, but I'm saying it's simple because the system essentially implies that you can't not scale, right? Because we validate for each step before we move on. Let me show you what I mean here. So step one is to whip up different transformations for different niches and see what resonates / figure out what people are willing to pay you for, right? Figure out what people are willing to pay you for, meaning, the reason somebody will become a customer of yours or become a client of yours is because they want a specific transformation to be realized for them personally, right? And this applies to everything, right? Obviously it applies to B2B, so in business, if you're working with a client and they need a new sales team being installed into their company, right? Well, in that case, the deliverable that you're going to provide is installing a new sales team, but really the transformation that they're looking for is obviously that at that point, they want to scale to a higher height, right? They want to scale their business, they want to add an extra 100K a month, and typically the way that they're going to do that is through the use of a sales team. Perfect. Well, that's the transformation. That's what they're paying you for. They're not really paying you for you to install a sales team. They're paying you for you to basically deliver an extra 100K a month to their bottom line, or whatever the number is, right? It's the same thing for if you're in like the fitness space, for example. If your clients are not paying you for a workout plan or for a meal plan or whatever it is, they're paying you for you to help them lose an extra 10 kilos off their total body weight, right? Whatever it is, right? That's what they're paying you for, and so that's the transformation that they are. That's what they're buying, right? And so what we need to do here in step one is just to whip up different transformations and apply it to different niches to see what people are like. Okay, yes, I need this transformation, right? That's what we're trying to find here. See, the issue that people have is they default to a transformation for a certain type of niche. For example, people, if you've been watching any of my content recently, I've been very heavy on changing the content itself. I don't believe in just defaulting to Facebook ads for e-commerce businesses anymore. I don't believe in Facebook ads for real estate agents or gyms or whatever it is, but that's what people are defaulting to, right? They just think, the transformation is, an extra 50K a month to your bottom line through the use of Facebook ads, which is the mechanism, and the niche is e-commerce. People are just defaulting to that, and I don't believe in that anymore, right? Because it just doesn't work anymore. It's as simple as that. If you go to an e-commerce brand, as I say, what we're trying to do here in step one is find a transformation for a certain type of person or a niche that resonates. That niche is willing to pay you a certain amount of money for them to realize this transformation. Now, if you go to an e-commerce business and say, hey, I'll run your Facebook ads, right, so that the transformation could be an extra 50K a month to your bottom line, that niche is never going to pay you for that transformation. I can near enough guarantee it, at least if you pitch it in that way, right? Because they've heard it all before, they've tried it, and it's an offer that's just been so saturated that it's just not going to work anymore. It's as simple as that, right? So what we're trying to do here is we're trying to find that message that just the message where all the stars align, and the niche is like, yes, I need this. Okay, and it's super simple, because at this point in the process, we don't need to worry about the back end. You don't need to know, okay, how am I going to deliver the transformation? You don't need to build anything, right? For example, we enrolled a new SaaS customer yesterday into Scale Clients.io, and he's already built the SaaS product, right? They've already built the product that delivers the transformation, but he only built that product once he actually figured out that the transformation that the product was going to produce was one that his niche wanted. Okay, so that's what we're looking for here. The niche and the transformation, okay? So you want to try, essentially the way that I look at it is you want to go transformation A to niche A, right? Niche A, for example. Now, one thing that you'll find is that transformations can be applied to different niches. Right? In the Scale Client Style content, I used the example of a CRM. I used the example of, if somebody came to me with a transformation of this new CRM that they could import into our company, and it would help our sales reps do X, Y, Z. That's the transformation, right? So, the CRM would do X, Y, Z for us so that we could, scale up our number of book calls whilst maintaining conversion rate, right? So we could add an extra 100K a month, whatever it is. That's the transformation. And so in that case, I would be the niche, right? A company who's doing 200,000 a month. But the same transformation could be applied to, in this example, niche B, which could be a super corporate company, right? Who's doing, 200 million a year. That's a different niche. Right? Or they could do the same transformation, right? The person with the CRM solution, they could take that same transformation, right, and apply it to niche C, which could be, then maybe be somebody who's only at 5,000 a month, right? In each of those instances, the niche is different, right? So what they would do is they would take that transformation and they would apply it to niche A, niche B, niche C. And then they would figure out, okay, which niche is converting, which niche is resonating with this the most, which niche is most likely to convert on this, and which niche is actually going to pay me for this solution, right? And in that instance, maybe niche A, it hits, maybe it's not, maybe it's niche B, or maybe it's not, maybe it's niche C, but you have to figure that out, right? And so the way in which we do this is just through outbound prospecting. Literally, outbound prospecting, cold calling, emails. If you've got a current audience, right? Maybe you've got 100,000 followers on Instagram, you've got 50,000 YouTube subscribers, you've got an email list of 10,000 people, whatever it is, blast these out to your audience if you've got a current audience and see what resonates, see what hits. And if you don't have a current audience, just do outbound prospecting, right? Tack on 100 emails, tack on 100 cold calls to each transformation and each niche and see which one resonates the most. Then from there, you've got, you have got transformation B. So you've got transformation B, okay, with niche A. And then you can call this niche A1 because maybe this niche isn't the exact same as this niche right here. But maybe, yeah, niche A1. Then you've got transformation B with niche B1, okay? And basically you just keep going through, that's meant to say B, okay? You just keep going through these permutations and you'll eventually find something that hits, right? Transformation C with niche Z, right? You'll eventually find a permutation where the stars align and they'll pay you for them to realize that this niche will pay you for you to deliver this transformation because it's one that they actually want. That's the key. As I say, it's hard to eventually not land on one where your offer then is irresistible for the respective niche that you pair it up with. Now, one thing that you can do, so if you take this transformation A to niche A, right? And niche A comes back to you and says, no, I'm not interested, right? They're like, no, I'm not interested, right? For example, if you take a transformation of Facebook ads to the niche of e-commerce, typically this is going to be a response that you get, no, I'm not interested. What you can actually do to do some more research and figure out, okay, well, if you're not interested, niche A, if you're not interested in this transformation, right? And you know that because they've told you, but okay, cool. Well, you could go, what transformation are you interested in, right? Can't spell, amazing. All right, so you go, what transformation are you interested in? Or another way to ask this question is, got it. What is your most painful problem right now? Right now, right? When they say, no, I'm not interested, you go, okay, cool, got it. Well, what's your most painful problem right now? And they'll go, actually, we're not interested in Facebook ads right now. Our most painful problem, and again, this is if you're assuming an e-commerce niche, for example, our most painful problem right now is back-end fulfillment. Okay, cool. So maybe let me change this transformation. Again, all we're doing here is we're just whipping up different transformations for different niches. That's all we're doing, right? So be like, okay, cool. So let me then transformation B, let me just see if this transformation of product fulfillment or whatever it is, right, that they said this is my most painful problem, let me try this transformation here and let me apply it to niche A again. Let me go back to niche A just with a different transformation. Okay, is this going to hit? Is this going to enable those stars to align, right? And you just keep going through these permutations, and as I say, eventually one's going to hit, right? And so that's step one. Whip up different transformations for different niches. What step two is now is we now need to go ahead and we need to validate the problem. Okay, so we need to validate the problem / transformation. Okay, because typically, like validating the problem or the transformation, the way in which you're really only going to be able to do that is by virtue of actually collecting cash from that niche in order for you to deliver the transformation. Because this niche here could tell you, yes, I want this transformation. They could say that to you, right? But then them paying you money for them to realize this transformation is entirely different. Meaning, you know, you could say, yes, you want this thing, but are you actually willing to pay money for that thing? Maybe, maybe not. And so when you collect money from a niche in order for you to deliver the respective transformation, that then shows you that is a transformation that niche is truly actually wanting, because they've paid you money for it. Because they may say they want it, but they might not. But if they pay money for it, they actually want the thing. Okay, so we need to validate the problem or the transformation, and we do this through signing, we call it beta clients or beta customers, okay? Beta customers, right? And it's essentially what a beta customer is. It's an early customer who receives desired transformation for a lower price / discount / typically that actually, yeah, that's going to be the main thing really that they'll get, right? So it's like, look, this is a new offer, this is a new transformation that we're bringing to market, and right now we're just trying to see if people are actually wanting this transformation. And so as a beta customer or as an early customer, we're actually going to deliver you the desired transformation, and we'll give you a $500 discount, we'll give you a $1,000 discount, we'll give you a 10 grand discount, whatever it is, right? So that then gets them in, because obviously at this point you've got to remember that you've got no case studies. Right, you know, if it's a brand new offer in a brand new niche, promising a brand new transformation that you've never delivered before, obviously you're going to have no case studies, so you can't expect to sign a high ticket client straight off the bat without actually proving your point beyond a reasonable doubt. Because typically that's how you're going to be able to sign those high ticket customers, is when you're able to prove your point beyond a reasonable doubt, right? Whereas at the moment, you know, to sign your early customers, to sign your beta customers, you have no case studies, you have no proof, you have no evidence that this claim up here is actually true. So you've got to provide an incentive for them to come on board. They're not going to come on board for the full amount, right? You've got to provide that discount or give them extras, right? So you can get bonuses. So it's like, look, I'm going to charge you the full amount of 5K, but I'm actually going to go ahead and do X, Y, Z for you on top, right? You've got to give some sort of incentive. And when you do, as I say, you want to now validate the problem, and you want to sign beta customers. And the way in which we do that is by collecting cash, right? Signing beta customers by collecting cash for you to deliver the transformation for the respective niche, right? For the respective niche, okay? That's how we validate the problem, okay? And then number 3, this is a super important step, is to deliver the desired transformation and collect a testimonial from the beta group, okay? Group / customers. This is a super important point. Now what we need to do, we've promised this transformation to this niche and they've paid us cash for us to actually deliver it for them. Now we actually need to deliver the thing. Right? Now you actually need to deliver the desired transformation that they paid you for initially, okay? And you need to deliver it to a level where they're willing to give you a testimonial for that offer, right? Because if you're only able to, once you deliver it to a point where it's 100%, they're able to give you they're willing to give you a testimonial, but maybe only deliver it to a point of 40%, that's not good enough, right? Because customer results is going to be the number one thing that gets you to 100K a month. People look at a bunch of other things in their business to scale and whatnot, right? They want to get to 500K a month, and they're looking at like the best acquisition strategies and this and that. And honestly, yes, they are important. But if your customer results aren't on point, if you can't deliver the desired transformation that you're promising, you're never you may have one huge month, but then the next month it's going to all die out because you're actually not able to deliver on the thing that you said or that you promised, right? So customer results is so important, and typically to begin with, you want to do it in a done for you format, right? Let me write this out here. Done for you doesn't scale, right? Because it's high input. And so, as you bring on more clients, you've got obviously the input is increases with that new signed client. However, in the beginning, we're not looking for, at this stage, you may have signed 2 to 5 clients from by whipping up this transformation and then validating it by signing your beta customers. At this point, you may have 2, 3, 4, 5 clients, customers, whatever, right? So we're not at scale at this point, and we're not looking to scale at this point. What we're looking to do now is complete step 3. As I said at the start of the video, you want to validate each step before you move on to the next one. So at step 3, we're not looking to scale, we're not looking past step 3, we're looking at validating step 3 itself. And what step 3 is? To deliver the desired transformation. So we need to do it in a done for you format. It doesn't matter that it doesn't scale, right? Because done for you is the easiest way to deliver results, right? Typically, if you're physically implementing on the thing yourself, you're physically, in the trenches delivering the transformation yourself, that's typically going to be the best and easiest way for you actually to deliver the outcome that the prospect paid you for. And again, that's what we're looking for. We're looking to build a system that reliably and consistently delivers the desired transformation. Okay, that's what we're looking for at this point. Okay, and then step 4 to now craft case studies and testimonials around the beta customers, because now these case studies and the testimonials that we're going to collect from these initial customers, right, we can now use to scale. We can now use to bring more customers on board. As I said before, the reason with beta customers, you need to give them an incentive. You need to give it for a lower price. You need to do a discount. You need to do bonuses. You need to give incentives, is because you've got no case studies. You've not really got any evidence to back up your claims, right? And so you can't charge high ticket. However, now, because you should have completed step 3, which is deliver the desired transformation, you can now build your case studies. You can now collect testimonials, and typically that then means that we can now move on to step 5, start scaling customer acquisition using case studies. Okay, because really case studies are like, it's if you go to a niche again, right, you go back to the niche and you say, hey, we're going to deliver this transformation, and you know that that transformation is one that this niche wants because you've validated it already and you know it, right? You go back to this niche, hey, we're going to give you this transformation, which I know you really, really want, and check it out. We've got 5 case studies here where we've done this for every single client that we've worked with, or here's 5 clients that we've previously worked with, and we've delivered this type of transformation. That's evidence, right? You're proving your point beyond a reasonable doubt. And so now you can start to really scale the customer acquisition side of the business, because it's just going to be super easy, especially if you've got an offer that actually resonates, especially if you've got a highly irresistible offer. And now we move on to step 6, which is, as I say back up here, right? Done for you doesn't scale. But at this point in the process, we're not looking to scale. However, now we're starting to scale the customer acquisition side. And so at some point, the done for you side of things, the done for you deliverable, is going to experience a cap, right? Because it's like, things are going to start to break because now you're operating at scale. But that's completely fine, because now step 6 is about restructuring your done for you offer into a leveraged consulting structure. Now, I'm not going to get too much in depth into leverage consulting and whatnot, because that's really what we go through in Scale Clients.io to scale to 100,000 a month and beyond. But that is now step 6. You want to restructure the done for you offer in a way of leverage consulting, so that it's a lot more scalable, which is really the true key to leverage consulting. It's the thing that's going to get you to 300,000 a month. If you have a high input service, you have a done for you agency of some sort or whatever it may be, typically you're not going to be able to see past 100,000 a month, typically, right? And if you do, you kind of handcuff, because you'll be able to scale past 100,000 a month, but then because you've got such a high client load and every single client is high input from your end because it's done for you, you're gonna have to hire more team members, and then that starts to cut into margins. So then it's like, okay, let's not hire more team members so that we keep our margins nice and high. But then it becomes an issue of, okay, well, now we've got nice high margins, but then customer results, which is step 3, which, as I said before, is the most important metric that you actually track and ensure is always, above your competition, is your customers get better results. If you don't cater to the increase in client load that you bring on board with a done for you structure, because you want to keep your margins nice and high, well, then customer results starts to dip. And then you start to decrease. As I say, if you can't deliver customer results, and you can have one big month because you can promise everyone in your niche the transformation, and everyone will buy, given it's a transformation the niche actually wants, But then the next month they're gonna be like, you can't deliver on what you said. So then they'll start spreading a bad word about you and bad things start to happen, okay? So you need to restructure the done for you into a leverage consulting structure so that you're able to maintain client results, maintain profit margins, and you can scale to a higher height. And that's it. And then obviously throughout this process as well, you need to be also focusing on team building. That's really the structure, and this gets implied at each stage as well. Like, it's not specifically step 7 that you then start building a team, but this is always a part of the conversation as well, which, as I say, team building for sales side, so like a sales team, sales reps and appointment setters, and then also customer fulfillment as well in the back end. Okay, that is the structure. That is honestly one of the most, it's such a simple system. As I say, I'm not saying it's easy, I'm saying it's simple, and it's so ridiculously effective, because if you just, again, focus on validating each section before you move on to the next one, you really can't fail. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time until you find that permutation between niche and transformation that hits. It's just a matter of time. You just got to test enough. As I say, with each transformation and each niche that you test, make sure that you do around 100 touch points, whether it's through outbound prospecting, through email or cold calls or whatever. At some point, you're going to find the one where the stars align, and then you just move on to the next one. And then once you've validated this, you move on to this section. Once you've validated that, you move on, you move on, you move on. And that's how you get to 100,000 a month. It's literally that simple. Again, it's not easy because it requires a lot of hard work, but the system itself, the fundamentals, is simple, guys. So if you want to dive deeper into this, right? If you want to get a deeper look into how this system actually works and going deeper into each point, how do you actually find these transformations and niches? How do you actually validate the problem? How do you actually sign beta customers? What are you looking for? How do you actually deliver the desired transformation? How do you scale your customer acquisition strategies, right? What does this look like? What are the customer acquisition assets look like? All that type of stuff. Go ahead, click the link in the bio. It's going to take you to a 19-page thesis that I created. I've also created a video around it. It's like a 75-minute video, which basically takes this very, very, very broad overview of the system and it takes it into ridiculous depth. Click the link in the bio, it'll take you to that 75-minute video, and I truly, truly believe that if you just sit down, block out an hour, 2 hours from your calendar and watch that video, you'll get results. And I say that with 100% certainty because I've had people literally message me and say, hey, watch that video, I signed a few initial beta customers. Like, it just works, okay? So just block out 1 to 2 hours from your calendar, click the link in the bio, check out that video, check out the 19-page thesis that comes along with it, and please take action, because this stuff works. All that's now left, once you understand the system, all that's now left is for you to take action. That's it. Okay, so make sure you go ahead, take that first step, click the link in the bio. And with that being said, I hope you found this video useful. As always, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you did find value in it, and I will see you in the next one.